Hey guys, how's it going? This is Chuck and Max here on another episode of Athletes and Fitness, and today's topic is about music. So, music has all sorts of effects on the mind and the body, but one thing that it really does, it lights up a lot of the different areas of the brain, not just the one that you listen in, the parietal lobe, but so whenever you're working out and you have a pair of headphones in and you're working out, I think it really motivates individuals, not just athletes, but the general pop as well, to push through their workout, get past the fatigue, the pressure. And we have a couple talking points we want to mention today.
Real quick, let's differentiate gen pop from athlete. That sounds pretty standard, but I think a lot of people might not know that definition.
So when you consider yourself an athlete, I would say you have a strict training regimen and you're training for something very specific, like a swimming competition or bodybuilding, powerlifting. There's a specialization within the fitness industry. When I mention general pop, that would be somebody that goes to the gym and wants to commit to a healthier lifestyle. And that is majority of the individuals that go to workouts. Not most people have the specialization.
But these tactics or tricks with music could probably apply to both.
Yes.
You could use this if you're gen pop. You could use this if you're an athlete.
Not limited to one sort of person whatsoever.
Okay.
So
maybe let's talk about the different types of music that you could listen to and why you would choose various types of music for different, I want to say events, but really, whether you're doing long distance biking, you're doing a quick power lift, you're doing some type of endurance lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone kind of has their own choice of music. We've come up with some ideas about which are the best. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well, what kind of music you listen to, and whether we're right or wrong.
Yeah. So let's see. So for our biking, so Chuck and I enjoy going biking on Sundays, or at least try to. And that's a little bit longer duration. So I like to have a playlist that is very steady, rhythmic. EDM, for example, is something that I enjoy listening to, almost as if I'm in a club and there's a constant pounding beat that can keep a rhythm going for me.
So I listen to sometimes anywhere from a podcast, if it's an easier ride, all the way up to something like Tropical House or something similar. And I think maybe we cross over on that. Mm-hmm. And maybe this is a good takeaway, is something that has a constant beat that keeps you going. Whether you're running or biking longer distances, it keeps you on track as you go.
Now the podcast, what is it in the podcast that allows you to get your mind off of the fatigue or pain?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this, about the way that the mind works and kind of goes into almost a flow state. Mm-hmm. In the same way, kind of focusing on detailed information through a podcast. That allows me to kind of disconnect my brain from body. Mm-hmm. Not that that's really possible, but right. In a sense, disconnect brain from body and continue kind of trucking along without thinking about it too much, because I'm preoccupied mentally thinking about what the podcast is saying.
And I think that's a term coined, dissociation.
Dissociation.
Yeah, and that's simply where you do disconnect your mind from the body whenever you're engaging in physical activity, and you just simply don't want to think about the fatigue and the emotional state that you're in whenever you are going through these exercises. Something to talk about is different BPMs. So as a trainer, it's very common and known that 130 beats per minute is a good rhythm for steady state exercising. So if you were to count, it's just kind of like boom, 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 boom. And that gives you a rhythm it's almost like a metronome in a way. And you just kind of find a rhythm based on that and you can hold it. It's common in high intense interval training programs like CrossFit or the program I run, which is Zone 4. But then you can have a much lower intensity, say yoga, mm-hmm. where you do want to have soft music playing in the background and keeping the heart rate much, much more calm during these stimulus. And, you're able to relax and be passive through the motion.
And if you've seen the movie We Are Your Friends, you've seen that with Zac Efron.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The DJ. Yeah. So he talks about the different beats per minute that first attract the body movement. And then once you're there, you can kind of tweak it, so up or down, depending on maybe where you're at in your workout. So these are all kind of cool ideas that you might be able to apply in the midst of a workout.
Yeah, something that just catches the attention and you're like, all right, I'm starting to feel this. And then it bumps it up to the next level. I mean, there's a lot of attention grabber songs that are out there, not even for exercise, but to get your mind attached to it. But I'm sure many of you including myself, do dance around and find your hips moving whenever you hear a catchy tune. I don't think Chuck will, though. Huh?
Never. I don't dance.
You don't dance. Not even the worm, right? Or the robot?
I only do the worm. I exclusively do the robot and the worm.
He builds robots and he's learning the robot right now, the dance.
Okay, well, what other movement types do we have? I think we talked about longer distance. We talked about shorter, kind of getting yourself primed into a zone there. And then we kind of talked about BPM. This is just summarizing things. We talked about BPM being used as a gauge for different types of exercise.
Yeah, the cortisol, the effects that music has on your stress levels and the hormone cortisol. So it's proven that if you do listen to music before an event, a test, whatever have you, that it minimizes how much of that cortisol is being released and you can maintain stress levels. So next time you feel yourself getting stressed, just put on a song that seems to be a little bit more relaxing, I would say, so you can counter that, heartbeat that's probably already beating due to the stressful event that you're encountering. I mean,
that's a great point, because my friend Ryan Murphy, who's U.S. Olympian, gold medalist, super decorated athlete, in a separate interview, I asked him, what do you do for music? Do you have a playlist that you listen to every time you go race? And he said, no, I do it based off of how I'm feeling that day. Mm-hmm. So if you can assess yourself, maybe on a scale of 0 to 10, how well you're feeling, how hyped you are. If you're kind of low, you might play music that counterbalances that, something more intense, maybe some metal or something, high intensity rap, versus a day where you're already feeling it. You might just need to keep yourself kind of mellow and stable.
So you don't burn out or, completely ruin your plan of action going into it.
Exactly.
Because you're too excited, and then our bodies do shut down if you push it too far. So. Yeah.
Anyway, we hope these tips have helped you guys. Like we said, please leave comments about what kind of music you listen to, if we're right or wrong about these things. This is an open debate. And again, something that we're interested here at BODbox. Mm-hmm. All these different facets come together and make for an optimal workout, whether that's music, your diet, the workout movements you're doing. So all these things are really interesting to us, and we're just going to keep making videos about it.